Hi, this is Mitch with the Fresche support team, and today we're going to be taking a look at TG Detect and how to send alerts to the TG Central instance. We're going to be tracking network transactions today, failed network transactions. And so what I'll first do is let's take a look at our network transactions and what we're going to fail on. So I will pop into network security. And the first thing I'm going to take a look at is actually going to be our defaults here. And since we're dealing with alerts and TG Detect today, we're going to look in this area and we'll see that the alert status is set to yes. Now this needs to be set to yes. It's a global flag for all of the network security TG secure. So if this is set to no, any specific rules within our exit point rules and our transactions will not alert, even if they are set to yes. So this is the global flag, needs to be set to yes. And the other thing to note is that this is the message queue that we'll be sending all of these transaction alerts to, so that TG message queue. This can be anything you want. This is just the default that we ship with secure. So I'll back out of here and I'm going to take a look at the exit point configuration next. Now we're going to be focused on the FTP server for this video. We see that my exit has been installed. I'll actually just open this up and take a look here. So we've got our exit installed. We won't worry about the auditing status, but the key here is the security status is flagged to yes, so that means that the rules that I set will be put in place, and if I'm set to fail, I will. And the other one being the alert status. So by default it's none, but you can set it to all transactions or only those that fail. So I'm going to keep mine as fail here, and let's back out. And the last thing in secure I'll show you is going to be our exit rules. So we see here that I've created an exit rule. I'll open this up. This is for my username, the IP that I'm coming in from. And what we want to do is we're failing once I change the directory to the TMP folder here. So I'll quickly show that. I've got an active FTP session here, so let me CD to TMP, and we see that the request was rejected. Now we can see that if we go into our incoming transactions list. We'll see that top one here. We've got our fail at TMP. And so because of our network security defaults, we know that that is also being alerted to the TG message queue. Now, instead of going into the message queue and taking a look, which we can, what we want to actually do is take a look at TG Detect. And within TG Detect, I'll take a look at the defaults just so you see what I have on my system. And we'll see the collection intervals that will be set. I'll leave these all as defaults. And we see that on the message queues we have 60-second collection intervals. The same integration will be done in another video there. And if we want to log any configuration changes, this is where we can set that status. So I'm going to close that and I'm going to go into work with monitors. Now this is a list of monitors that Secure is shipped with. You can add your own at any point, but we're going to focus on this bottom one here, that TG message queue. Remember we had that in our defaults of Secure. And I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take an option 10 to work with the rules. And we'll see again, these are all default rules that are shipped with it. You can create your own. And we're going to be looking at the network transactions. That's where we saw that fail. So I'm going to open up the alert option here. So option 20 on network transactions. We'll see we don't have any here. And to create a new alert is F6. And this is going to be the added alert for the TG data, TG message queue that we have. So the alert type, we see a list here. We can email these, we can send them in messages. We also have options for SIM integration as well. Again, today we're just going to be focusing on TG Central. And the alert sequence, so this is going to be essentially the priority of the alert, much like a library list. We'll leave that as default there. Now down here in the alert frequency, the number of events is going to be how many times this event needs to occur in order to trigger a notification. Okay, so if somebody fails their login once, maybe not a concern. If it happens 10 times, we might want to raise that up. Now that ties into the event frequency, and it's how many times these number of events occur in any given time period. So again, if somebody fails to log in, 3 times over the day, maybe not a concern. But if it's 50 times within a minute, that would be something that we would want to raise up. So for today, I just want to log all of my events, so I'll leave those as any and any. Now when you hit enter, you'll be prompted to specify the alert message here. So you can just write out the message, that star message that comes with the default. You can also, I'm just going to customize this. We can write text in here, and you can also actually prompt this with F4, and you'll see these special values that come up. Now say you wanted to get the username added onto here, we can grab that. What I'll do, let's throw the job number into ours as well, just so we can see that come through. So I got my custom message, the message, and our job number. So I will accept that with enter, and here we see our alert has been set. I will back out into our monitors list. So we have our rules set. We have the network failure that will happen when I access that. And what we need to do is actually enable the subsystem so that we start monitoring these message queues. So we can see at the bottom here these options, F21 to 23 there. So I'll take an F21 just to show we don't have our subsystem running right now. So I will fire that up with an F22. Confirm that. And we'll see if we do an F21 again now. We should have our system up and running. Perfect. Now we see in the status here as well that the TG message queue is set to inactive. We're going to start that monitor with an option 21. Confirm. And we see that it's now active. Perfect. Alright. So let's now try to fail a connection here. Got my CDTMP. Fail as expected. And now let's pop into our TG Central instance. And here we see that message coming through. So we have my custom text there, my custom message. We have the message that was printed out, and you'll see at the end here we have our job number associated with that. So there you have it, a end-to-end integration of 3 portions of the tool: TG Secure, logging network transactions, and then using TG Detect to pass those on to our TG Central instance. Thanks.